In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to find thousands and thousands of leads in any of the thousands and thousands of niches at any point in time and be able to filter them based on the needs of those businesses without them even knowing that they need it. And I found the best way to market to them, whether you're going to do boots on the ground and build routes to be able to visit the businesses. I found the best way to send postcards to those businesses and a way that you could literally put value first on those postcards to make it almost impossible for not only a business owner, but the gatekeeper to impossible for them to throw it away. Okay. I found an easy and simple way to filter these leads to make sure they match whatever service you're selling. And in this video, I'm going to bring in my man, Tom, who I met 6 months ago, told me about this when I got off the stage at the GoHighLevel event and said that I was going to love it. And a month later, he showed me a demo of it and I loved it. And I've been waiting 5 months to be able to share it with you guys. My community of thousands of agencies have seen it. And we've had dozens of people jump on board and tell us that they love it. And if you're a aspiring or soon-to-be agency owner, or you want to get into the agency space, or you even have a big agency right now, if you want an easy way to pull thousands of real-time, fresh businesses off the internet and be able to filter them and send them right into your GoHighLevel account, then stay tuned because the video is starting right now. And if you stay to the end, I have a special offer that only lasts until about 3 to 4 days from now. And yeah, so I would watch this if you want to be able to pull thousands of fresh leads for any niche in I would say the world, because it doesn't matter really where you are. Wherever a business is and has Google business profiles, you could pull them. And it's not old, gross, disgusting, outdated business leads like most of these lead scrapers. Real time, fresh, and ready to go. Let's get at it.
All right. So to begin your search, you just simply click on a new search button. And here we've got a couple of different ways to do a search. Probably the most common one is when we're looking for example, every type of business within like a city and a state. And so, we'll type in, for example, landscaper, and we'll put them in Portland in Oregon. And Google gives you the ability to pull back up to 500 businesses. So I'm going to select that. And that way we're going to get as many as it can possibly find. And that's all you got to do. So on the next screen here, we go ahead and hit search. And what MapLeads is doing behind the scenes is we're going to the internet live, right? So all the data that we're pulling is going to be what you see on Google Maps. That way you don't have to worry about any old or outdated businesses. In addition to that, sometimes when you're trying to pull data, you might get duplicates and it becomes a lot to sort of manage. So we deduplicate any of the search results that you're going to get. And then finally, what we do is, excuse me, we get rid of any businesses that are marked as closed in Google. So if a business has been around for a long time and they decide to close a business and they're permanently closed, we're going to get rid of that for you as well. And so the benefit now, when we get the search result back and what we're looking at is all of that work behind the scenes has already been done for you, which means that the data is ready to be used.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to clean it. You don't have to scrub it. You don't have to, do all that stuff. You could be confident that this is up to the minute updated.
Yeah, exactly. And making sure that you've got a process that's like really smooth and easy to use to go through and find the businesses that you're looking for. And what you're going to notice too, this one takes a little bit longer, but it's happening behind the scenes. Every time one of these little icons lights up, what that means is we did a search and tried to find any email addresses and social media profiles and things like that for that particular business. And once that runs all the way through, you're going to notice, for this company, for example, we were able to find one email address. We found an email address for them as well. And so what we're doing is we're going ahead and enriching these businesses for you automatically just to get you more information, which gives you, more ways to reach out to the company as well.
Yeah. So that orange blue thing is email addresses.
Yeah. Yep. That means that we did the search for it. And then when we find any, like, for example, this one we found 4, when you click on it, they'll be listed right here in the account there for you as well.
Got it. And then what's the email icon right there? Like that looks like an email. Was that an address?
Yeah, that's for postcards actually.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
and you can, when you click on that, you can, either see the postcard you sent, or you can go ahead and send a postcard out.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in just in a little bit. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I mean, since we're here, this other little icon, when that lights up, that's always an interesting one. I think some people, look for that specifically, but that will just mean that they did not claim their Google business profile.
When that's lit up, correct?
Yeah, when that's lit up, and you'll see those. Those aren't as many as predominant, but when you do find one, sometimes it can be a really valuable find.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. All right, cool. So now we have our search, right? We're doing prospecting, trying to get some clients, and now we have a list of 195 landscapers in Portland, Oregon, with the most up-to-date data from Google as of today at 10:50 a.m. All right. So now, what can we do with this data? Let's talk about that. Let's go through each step of this.
Yeah, perfect. So the first thing we do is kind of just look at it and look for different things and do some filtering and stuff. So I'll walk you through just a couple of quick views, and then I'll let you dive in, in the platform on your own. But just to give you a little bit of lay of the land here, when you click on one of these business profiles, this is where you'll see a little bit of additional information, and everything opens up here for you. So if they have a website, it'll put a screenshot of their website right there. And if you want, you can click on that and go directly to their website as well. So if you see something interesting that you want to take another look at, makes it really easy to get there. In addition to that, anytime we find social media profiles, we'll put a little icon for the social media profile that we found. And here you can see we found them a Facebook page, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and a YouTube channel for this particular landscaping company. Now, sometimes information might be a little bit harder to find. And so the two icons that will always be there, and just a click away, this first one here, when you click on it, will bring you back to the actual Google business profile that we just pulled from. Mm-hmm. So you can always go here, you can look at the reviews or look at like pictures or anything like that. Different people look at different things on Google business profiles. So if we have one that's interesting to us, I make it really simple for you to just get to it, right? I'm just trying to save you clicks and save you time and streamline the process as much as possible. Now, in situations where they don't have a website, it can be even harder to find information on them. So one of the things I learned along the way in doing prospecting is that if you just Google somebody's phone number, it's a pretty unique identifier in the world. And what that means is you're going to be able to, oftentimes pull back some really good information about the company, because the one thing that they're going to put everywhere, as you can see, like on Yelp, map, like these guys are obviously pretty well ranked. They're going to put their phone number. Yep. So just by Googling that one thing, it's like, boom, door in, trying to, find more information about them.
Exactly.
And we're going to come back to this, but this is what I sort of call the value stack. These are all the action items that you can do within this profile, and ways that we can sort of reach out to them and start to work them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next thing to think about is, I think about prospecting in the terms of like spears and nets, and you might have heard this before, but spears, like sort of what I just showed you. We're kind of going through each business, looking maybe for something specific on their profile, things like that. But maybe what we want to do is we say, hey, look, like, we already know that the list that we have in front of us, we want to reach out to them, in some way, shape, or form. The list view is a fantastic way to go to the ability to just, simply select every single business in the list. And then, with a click of a button, we can send these things over to the CRM with tags. Mm-hmm. So that, when they go into the CRM, it's already set up for like automation and organization and things like that. And any other bulk actions, like, for example, sending them, a bunch of postcards, which of course, we'll sort of get back into here in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can keep going. I'll have a question, save my questions.
Okay, perfect. So what I always talk about is, Google Maps just like, gives you access to 200 million businesses in the world. And, while I'm sure we'd love to have 200 million customers, the reality is it's just too big of a pile to work. So we've already started working on landscapers, right? So we've sort of like niched down. We've got like 200 businesses out of those 200 million that are interesting to us, but we can actually get more granular, more specific. And so a lot of times digital agency owners are going to be looking to sell services such as reputation management, SEO services, websites, AI voice now, missed call text back. And so what we do is we give you a way to, I say, kind of find the needles in the haystack really quickly. And a great example to use is just if they don't have a website listed in their Google business profile, right? We can filter those down really quickly. And so we started with, I call it the pile of hay of 195 pieces, and now we're down to the 29 that are probably going to be, the most interesting. Then there's two parts to this conversation always, which is like, hey, just because they don't list a website on their Google business profile doesn't mean, that they don't have one, which is true. So what I would say is just Google their phone number. If they have one, you'll find it. The other part of that, though, is if they don't, they also could use some help with their Google business profile because they're clearly not optimizing it if they do have a website and it's not listed. So these are all ways I start thinking about how am I going to, approach this business owner with something of value in the conversation of a problem that I know that they have that, I can fix. And so anytime I can get that information before I make the call, it's going to make, a lot better conversation when we do connect with them.
Yeah, and I, one of the main things that we teach, like the foundation of prospecting, is like, getting them to do something what we call a client qualification interview, which through questioning, right, with our template, we get the answers that we're actually getting here, which is like, how many reviews do you have? Do you know what your rating is? Do you have an optimized website? Do you have a Google business profile? Do you have, a website connected to your profile? All the questions that we have in this CQI, and this is what I love about this the most. You're actually able to find it prior. So now you already know what their weaknesses are. And when you know what their weaknesses are before they even do, now like when you speak to them about the things that they're missing that they might not even realize, then it's like, okay, we got to sit down. We got to talk. I didn't know all this stuff. I didn't realize that a 3.4 star review. How do I get it higher? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or even what the impact of a 3.4 is.
Yeah. Or the impact of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just leaving stuff on the table. And your services that you provide are like a really easy way to bring that up for somebody who might not be just aware. Right. And sometimes that's all it's about is they just don't know about the service or even about their own business because they're just busy running their business. So yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, and then every time, there's not to cut you off, but every time like I'll have businesses that says, listen, how do I increase that rating? And my answer always is, well, you just need more 5-star reviews. Well, how do I get more 5-star reviews? Funny you may ask. I also, you know what I mean? Like that it's very simple because you have a solution for all of their problems. And that's the whole point of this.
Yes. Yeah, right. Because you're solving problems, and that's what people need is the solution to the problem, not so much the tech, right? Like
right.
And it's funny because you just said, it's like, well, how do I get more reviews? And at the end of the day, what they're really looking for is more customers.
Yep.
But you bring them down that path, and getting more reviews is one of the ways to get them to where they're trying to go.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. So one of the things that you'd mentioned was whether or not a site was optimized, and I'll just kind of show you this last view here that we have. So we talked about the map view, we talked about the list view, and then right here you'll see something called sites. And this gives us the ability to look at every one of these companies' websites in a really quick and easy grid. So we are going out to the internet and grabbing live screenshots of all of these websites. And when you scan through them, usually the first page is pretty good. But what we're really looking for are, 404 errors, DNS errors, sites that look like they're built in 1998. I mean, even this one isn't bad, but it could use a little bit of a makeover. And as you go through it, that's what we're looking for. And it just gives you a quick, easy way to see, are they up and running? Is it optimized? Does it look good? And, should I click into it to see more about that site or reach out to the business owner, to chat with them?
Yeah, let's go. Let's find, I was doing this yesterday. Let's find, like, let's do the one there, that green one that's not really loading properly.
Well, this one may load. So that was sometimes something to touch on. I think it's going to have a little bit more of a fancy design. So you have to remember when we're grabbing, there's a certain thing that we're looking for it to load. So there's going to be some that will look like that. I would even bet like this one here, right? They're verifying that I'm a human. So these ones, you can look at them, but when you find an error, you're gonna know a lot of times. And I think it's just because I've been doing this long enough. The screenshots do take like a minute. Like here's one. So just be patient with that and understand, because yeah, we're going out and grabbing live shots, and as they update, but this is one right here. They've got issues.
Yeah, I had yesterday when I was going through this on my live, like out of the 10 that were on the front page, like 5 of them had SSL errors.
Yes, yeah, those are great. So why do I like those? The reason why I like those is because they're trying. Like they want the website, they bought the URL, they maybe have already paid for somebody to do it, but they're not doing a good job of it.
Doesn't even work. Their site doesn't even work.
Yeah, exactly. So you're taking something that they potentially already want, and and you're able to sort of reach out to them and work with them in that way.
Yeah, and imagine that phone call, right? Like, and I've made these kind of phone calls, like, hey, I was searching for landscaper in the area, and I noticed that when I clicked on your website, it's down. Did you know that it's down? And that like you're not calling and says, hi, my name is James from Visibility Cloud Agency, and I work with local businesses to help them get more leads and customers. And would you be interested in that? You know what I mean? That conversation versus like, yo, I don't know if you know this, but your website is down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you come with the problem.
Yep.
You freak them the F out, and then don't worry. I could solve it for you. Like I can fix it. Let's talk. Let's get it on a Zoom. Let's set up a meeting.
Yeah. Those are the best. And again, it doesn't take many of those, right, to start turning them into customers, because like I said, they're already motivated. They're trying. They want it to happen. It's like you don't need to sell them an idea of a website. They're already there. Also, so the other view that we have here, which is looking at mobile sites. Why is this so important? It's because all these businesses are getting a lot of business from Google Maps, right? I think it's like 44% of searches today on the internet are all about local.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I'm trying to find, business, and, I've got 50-50 chance or greater that I'm going to hit that website from a mobile device, you want to make sure that your website is set up in a way that's, looks like a mobile website. So this is another just great view that you can go through. Same idea, right? We're still looking for websites and stuff, but now we just simply flip the lens on it. Like, while their desktop version may look perfect, their mobile site might be the desktop version, and that's going to be an issue.
Yep.
And that's something else you can call them about. Hey, listen, I was looking at your site on a mobile device, and did you know that it's really poorly optimized and you're losing business because of this? I think that's a great conversation that you can reach out. Again, you're already calling with a problem. You're alerting them of something that they probably care a lot about, and then you're in front of them with the solution. Why wouldn't I hire you?
Yep, exactly. And one of the big things that we teach is value first, free trials on certain services. And actually, you could almost skip that. You could almost skip that kind of that pitch of a free, I'll help you get 5 reviews over the next couple of days. It's not going to cost you anything, and if you're happy with the work I do, we could talk about it. How do you does that sound fair? We're at whatever. But now it's like, I'll fix this specific issue you have, because, like, for example, a website down. I mean, I guess depending on who is controlling their site, you can't get the passwords and stuff. It could be a little bit of a process, but honestly, usually it's just like a DNS error, or they didn't set the page to go to the root domain versus the whatever they call the other one, www domain. And so yeah, sometimes the fix could be that trial, because now it's like you can go right into the sale of like, hey, this is what I did for you. I also do X, Y, and Z. Would you be interested in talking more about that? So
totally. And so when you run into like a DNS error, right? And the fix probably is that they have to call their tech person. Something happened. They fix it, right? Yeah. And whatever. So now, does that mean that you're completely out? Well, I would say no. And what I would do if I run into a DNS error and I call them and they say, oh man, yeah, I got to call Jimmy again, and that guy, like, he's got to fix this. Okay, great. Hey, listen, before I let you go, like, how often does this happen?
Right.
Like,
or how often does it happen that you don't know it's happening?
Exactly. Right. And that they may, if they don't know, how are they even going to answer that question? Yeah. So you're putting like thoughts in their heads, like, look, do you want to just fix this once and for all? This is what I do, and maybe come up with a way to monitor sites, or come up with some sort of, like, I would almost call it like an SLA, or guarantee that their site is going to be up. And hey, would that give you peace of mind to know that, you never have to look at your website again because I'm watching it,
Right, exactly.
And we're making sure that's up and running. And so that's another really great way to, sometimes people, especially on websites, start to fall asleep at the wheel and they're not taking care of all their clients, and you can come in and provide a really great service. So keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to jump to a couple other things here now. So what I always talk about is I try to kind of reshape this, right? Like we're trying to find businesses to sell to that need our services. There's sort of two problems to this challenge. One, people don't know that we exist, and we don't know where to find people. So if we can bring these two things together, which is what we're trying to do at this platform, then making that connection and an authentic connection, to a business owner and being able to solve their problem is the thing that's going to, win. So we've already done all that. And so you'd feel like, okay, this is really great. But, what I'd say is like, we've narrowed down the business. We understand, who the business owner is we should be reaching out to. We know the problem they have. We know the conversation that we're going to reach out to them with. And it sounds like, boom, we're in, right? Mm-hmm. What I always say is almost. And what I mean by that is the one thing that we haven't really started talking about yet is your competition. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. We're all really bright, smart people, hustling out there to go find some business, help business owners, and grow our own business. And the reality is, so are other people. And so what I always try to talk about here is that, if you want to get a different result than the person before you, is to do something different. Mm-hmm. So as a business owner, you can imagine, right, that they've got a lot of people sort of reaching out to them. Maybe they want to sell me a website. And if the person before you has already called and the business owner has already made a decision about a website, and then you call in with the kind of the same pitch of like, hey, like I noticed your site's done. It's like they heard this 3 times this week and they've decided 3 times this week that they don't want it. And you're just the 4th person they're going to tell no.
Right.
And that's a really great way to get a lot of no's. So what I always try to talk about is like, how can we walk into the conversation with something of value and have like a different talk track? And so websites are one I always love to talk about. And I want to give you like the 2 versions of this conversation. There's the 3 times your competitors called before, which was kind of what I was saying. You don't have a website. My name's Tom. I build fancy websites. Can I meet with you next week? So I'm not only disturbing you now, but I'm going to disturb you next week, right? And I want to take some more of your time, and then I want you to look at my stuff, and then hopefully you'll hire me. Yep. And that business owner, what they're hearing is you want more of my time, right? And in business, like time is money. If I'm going to invest it somewhere, like there's got to be something in it for me. Now, you can do this differently if you have map leads. And what we can do, and I'm going to show you this in a second, is with a click of a button, map leads can go out there and research the company and then put all that into AI and spin up a website for that business that's completely personalized about them. We pop it all onto a template, and it gives you the ability to immediately show it to a business owner. And so when you have that tool in your pocket, what you're able to do now is your call is going to be different. You're able to then call a business owner and say, hey, I noticed you didn't have a website. And immediately they're thinking, here we go again. Right? And then you say, but here's the thing. I had my team research your company and we built you a completely personalized website. I want to show it to you. They just finished and I want to show it to you. Can we hop on a quick Zoom and I'll show you what we built? Think about what's going on here. In the first call, the business owner is thinking, I don't want to give up more of my time. I'm defensive. I'm guarding what I have, which is my time. And in the second call, it's like, wait, all I have to do is take 5 more minutes to see something that you already built for me.
Yep.
Right. So now what we're doing is we're generating curiosity instead of defensiveness.
Yep.
You showed up to the conversation in a different way. You brought value to the conversation, and there's literally no risk for this business owner to take 5 more minutes in the moment that you've already sort of interrupted them. Mm-hmm. To satisfy their curiosity to see what it is that you drove, what it is that you built.
Yep.
Now, this isn't even like a new concept, but what's happening is in the old way to do this, you would have had to really put in a lot of time or show them some generic site that had nothing to do with them, right? Like if I'm going to cold call 20 people today and I want to do that pitch, I got to be ready. So I got to build 20 websites.
Right, exactly. Right? 20 research things.
You got, and then one person answered.
Yeah.
So instead of doing all that, just make your cold calls. And when they answer, you can hop into map leads and you just simply click build a site. And we have templates that are available, but you can, create your own templates. And once you have one that you like and you're using in your niche, you just hit build site. And so this thing is doing everything I just said, going out, we're researching that business. And then we're going to take and put all of this really unique text all about them onto a template. And what this does is just gives us a new starting line for that conversation. So now I can say, hey, okay, great. We're hopping on Zoom. I send them the Zoom link. I build the site. While Zoom is connecting, we're building the site. All that's happening. We get on. meet each other, site's done. And I just say, great, here's the site that I had my team build for you. And it's dynamic, so it's going to take a half a second to load. There we go. And so now we have, a website that we can start talking about as if I actually put in time, as if it led by Leo. Well, this is what I love. So like we're finding information that's completely personalized. I mean, you can't, you know what I mean? Like this guy's gonna be like, okay, wow, this is great.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll kind of walk through this, but as we go through it, I'm going to come back to the form. We'll figure out like the top 3 services that they're known for. So if it's like, irrigation, we'll write about that. But whatever it is that we can dig up on them, we'll put in there. Why they should do it. Say all this is personalized. If they have some Google reviews, we're going to put them on there. They've read these before. I mean, they're going to be impressed that you've taken the time to do all this stuff. Customize FAQs. We put their business on the map so they recognize that. And it's a really interesting looking piece. And we did all that in 10 seconds. But the beauty of this is that we had the opportunity to say that we did all this on the call and show up to that call in a completely different way. Okay, so now on all the templates that I do, I also make sure I put a form on here to set you up for like a really great part of the next conversation. And I think a landscaper specifically, right? Like if they do have a website and somebody fills in this form, and if they've ever done this before in the past, you can ask them. So, okay, so when you did get form fills, like how did that go? And the story is probably that they checked it once a week, maybe got back to people, and by then people have already moved on, right? They already found somebody else to talk to. And so now what you can say is, look, I tell you what, here's what we're going to do differently. We've got a ton of technology in the background that's going to, work with you and work for you. And so here's an example of that. And this is what I mean. Somebody comes in, they fill in this form, they tell you a little bit about what it is they're looking for. Mm-hmm. As soon as they hit that submit button, what my system is going to do on this website is it's going to take that exact information and we're going to text it to you. And here's what you're going to do, right? When you hop off that mower in 30 minutes and you're driving to your next job, you're just going to call all these text messages back. And that way there, you know what I mean? That like, we're going to get you speed to lead. You're going to be able to do this while you're driving, right? And be able to have conversations with people and be able to get back to them. And so the point of that is like, look, not only do we spin up a website, but now we're showing them why they need the website, how it's going to provide value, and, how it could be different than maybe a website that they've had, before in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. I mean, listen, we used to do website arbitrage and stuff like that off Craigslist. Like that was a big prospecting thing and like building websites. But there was just a lot of upfront work. It was like, you had to get somebody to build the site and then go back and forth. Where this is it. Like this is great to come with just a fast result for somebody. And they're like, man, if this guy could do it without even knowing me, imagine what he could do if I was actually hired him. So that's how people think. That's how business owners think.
Exactly. And so this is a great spot to also talk a little bit about the postcard. We've got a couple different ones, but this one specifically, we have a few templates I was looking for it. So here we go. So this would be the template to this card. Maybe we can't get a hold of the business owner because they are doing what we just said, right? They're busy, they're out mowing lawns and things like that. So how am I going to be able to connect with them, in a place that they are watching or paying attention to? And I think direct mail is just a great way to do that. This will generate a 6x9 glossy postcard, really high quality postcard. And what we're doing in this particular template that I'm showing you is we're taking that website that we just built and we're putting it on a postcard. So imagine, like, I always laugh at this because real quick,
because I had this question in my head last night. If you don't build the site and you send a postcard, is it going to pull their actual site?
Well, no, but we do have other postcards. So the purpose of that, I'm trying to think through that one. So the reason why this postcard does that is because it's showing them the product that we just created.
Right, because you chose that template.
Yeah, exactly. It's a site builder template. So we also have, I'll show you a reputation management one, which is fantastic. And then the other one, actually, let me, And then the other one is just like you can send any type of postcard you want, right? So you can create one in Canva, give me the images, and you can add some customization to it or QR codes and things like that. Yeah. So there are 3 different types of templates. This particular one, again, was a site builder template. But when we go view this one, this is grabbing that site that we just built and putting the header on it. So imagine, I always kind of, you hear people talk about the scroll stopper, like when people are scrolling social media, they want their ad to like stop the scroll. I think of the same thing in direct mail. Like I'm flipping through my mail. There's the name of my business, my phone number, right? My name is on the front. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want to stop them, and then I want them to flip this over. And hey, boom, couldn't find your website. I built you one. And I put this image on the left, right? This is going to be on every one of the postcards. The reason why is it's just enough to see that there's more there, but not actually enough to see what it is.
Yep. I love it.
So you scan that QR code, it goes directly to the website, and that way they can check it out and see what it is.
So you do have actually a link that they can go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yep. And the benefit of that is when they scan that QR code, we track all that information, and you can see when they're engaging with that piece of mail. Yeah. And that's all I need. I just need to know that you're alive, right? Like you clicked on that thing that showed me one, that you're interested. Two, you're there.
Yeah. And then when they scan it, we have there's somewhere on here you have QR, right? QR history. There you go. Analytics.
Yep. And so basically, anytime you get a click on it, and then the last time that click happened.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. And then we do have some integration back into the CRM with some of the postcards too, so that you can do some triggers and things like that there. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So let me go back to.
I love the postcard thing. Especially for like introverts like me, like where it's like, I was able to build my agency being an introvert, but not really loving to make like cold calls or anything. I always led with value, free leads and stuff like that. But man, if I had this, I would just send out postcard after postcard. I'd find all the niches that don't have websites, and just like start blasting postcards left and right, and just watching those QR analytics. I mean, listen, you're still going to get a 1% hit rate, but for me, I wouldn't have cared. I've tried postcards on other businesses before I got into the agency, because it was like a kind of like a hands-off thing. I didn't have to like be uncomfortable. But you can't always avoid the uncomfortableness. It's part of business and growing. But I love the postcards.
Yeah. No, they are fantastic. I think from that perspective, I always think about a couple things there. One is like, I'll ask people, say, hey, do you want to prospect with your time or your money? And a lot of the agency owners are just starting to get started, and they don't have time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so maybe we want to send 100 postcards Monday morning, before they head out to work for the week, like, and then they're building their agency on the side. Like, that's a real thing. And then the other side of it, though, probably my two favorite my three favorite channels are how about this? My least favorite channel is email.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. So this is kind of a good point to talk about. I think it's a good thing to think through for agency owners, is that what I learned along the way doing prospecting is that when you're doing the things that are less automated, there's also a lot less competition, and you're going to get feedback a lot faster as well. So when you're just starting out and you need feedback and you need to understand what's going on, and you want to try to compete in a place where less people are competing, I'll tell you the probably the most optimized thing you do is make phone calls. The most valuable thing I think you do is stop into a business. And then postcards, I think, are also just a really great place because there's less competition. And so here's what I mean by all that is, if everybody's sending emails and this business owner is getting 100 emails in a day, you are one of 100 competing for their attention.
Yeah.
If they get 5 postcards a week, you're 1 in 5.
Yep. Which
I think is just right. And it's also a physical piece. They can't just easily hit delete. Like, you almost have to like look at it before you're going to toss it. So I think all that, it creates more of a mind share, and you're going to capture that more. So there's a lot more value in that activity. When I'm doing a phone call, I can do a lot of phone calls, and I can make like a real authentic connection with a business owner, because we're humans to humans, right? It's not just something behind a screen. And, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust.
Yep.
And when you can make an authentic connection with somebody, that's really the thing that they're investing into, is the relationship that you're establishing with somebody. And when you're doing phone calls, like, they get 20 phone calls a day or something like that, like, you're 1 in 20. When you're stopping in person, like, you may be the only person that day or that week that popped in, and now I'm standing in front of you. Try to hit delete, right? I'm a person in front of you. It's not that easy, right? So those are the ways I think about it. It's like, lower automation, higher value. And then the one thing I talked about that I want to just kind of wrap all this up with is, if you're sending emails and you're hoping to kind of like learn your process or figure some things out or figure out how to optimize it, like down the road, I think when you've got a process and you're just kind of making some tweaks and things, that's great. Like, and there's a time and place where you can fully automate things. But early on, you're not going to get a lot of feedback loops on your emails. Like, you may know that they opened them. You're not going to get any feedback. But if you talk to somebody you're going to hear the objections they have. If you're standing in front of them, you're going to hear the objections they have. And really that gives you the ability to shape it more, right? Like whatever it is you think you're about to sell to somebody, you're going to oftentimes learn about things that you didn't know, or you're going to hear about something, right? And you're going to come up with a new pitch because you thought the problem was this, but while you're on the problem, you're actually not on the pain. And it's like, wow, okay, so like I didn't realize that was the thing. And if I just said this from now on, I'd be, increasing my conversion rates. Ton of value in doing low automation things in the beginning, a lot of feedback loops, and also it's just a way faster sales cycle, right? And you get authentic connections, which leads to two more things, which is typically is a higher ticket item, right? You can sell somebody a higher ticket item because you're buying from a person, not just like clicking an ad. And oftentimes when you have that relationship, not only do you have a higher ticket item, but you're going to have a longer lifetime value of that customer, meaning they're going to stick around a lot longer.
Yeah.
And because they have a supplier, right? That supplier is you. So if somebody else calls with something, right, and they already have this relationship with you, like why would they ever leave you?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And that those things are all like really, really matter. Anyway, I think it's an important piece to talk about.
Yeah. No. I mean, all this stuff is listen, it's all about having an arsenal. When you have an arsenal, you know their pains before you even talk to them. Just the conversation is a lot easier. And then I think you were going to jump into the building routes if you're going to do boots on the ground, right? Prospecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is where you can start.
And let's not forget about like let's talk about filtering really quick. We could filter these by ratings and reviews. So let's just like toggle that just so people could see.
Yeah. Yep. So for example, if you're looking for reputation management, there's two main thresholds you're thinking about. One is that they have 4.0 or below. And we just took that list from 195 down to 66.
Yeah. Now, these people have problems. If they like, just to the audience, if you have a business and you have under a 4-star rating, not like under 4 reviews, like ratings, you got some pretty bad reviews on there. So it's like they need help no matter what.
Yep, exactly. The other threshold is if they have less than 20 reviews in total, yes. Right? Google doesn't really give you a bunch of love. And so, in this particular search, out of 195, we've got 140 that have less than 20.
Yep.
Which tells me there's 50 that are probably doing really well in Google, right? Mm-hmm. And 140 that aren't.
Yep.
So one of the things we can do, actually, this last business we just had, is there's another type of postcard that we can also do, which is a review management postcard. And again, this is like, how are we going to be different? How are we going to stand out? How are we going to provide some sort of value, right, to the business owner? And what this postcard is doing is we're going to go grab a screenshot of this Google business profile that they have, and we're going to put that on the front of a postcard. And then what we do is we grab and we create a unique QR code. That QR code, the first time it gets scanned, will go to a form inside of your CRM system. And the beautiful part about that is you can grab consent to send them like text messages and things along those lines inside of your prospecting process. But then what you can also do is anytime they register a card, the next scan will automatically go to this form. So imagine you're a landscaper and you've got this QR code, and the homeowner or whoever comes out after you just finished the yard and say, man, I always love when this is finished. It looks fantastic. Boom, there's your opportunity as a business owner to say, hey, that's really great. Listen, I'm trying to build my business, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to get 5-star reviews. Would you mind leaving me a review?
Yep.
All right. And they say yes. And then what they can do is you can take a look at this postcard that they had gotten. Yeah, I like grabbed the wrong template for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, just use this one.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an example of what those cards look like. We in this particular one, we grab their Google business profile. So again, it's scroll stops. Like, this is my profile. What is this thing? And then I start reading it, and it says, hey, this card is programmed to get your company reviews. And so again, the first scan will go into a form where they register the card. And then every scan after that will automatically be able to go directly to their review form for them to fill in their review.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And you can put whatever you want here on the back of the card. So just another example of a way to reach out to somebody, provide some value, be a little bit different. And of course, we're tracking all of that in the background. So if they start using that card, now you know that they are caring about their Google reviews. They are trying to improve it, which means it's a great conversation for you to reach out and tell them about the rest of the reputation management system that you could provide.
Awesome. Oh, and
Um,
the best part is too is that if everybody that's watching this is like, man, I'm gonna forget how to do this. On the bottom, there's that orange button right there that says Map Leads Accelerator, and this is all training course that comes with this.
yes. Yep. There's different courses for different pieces and parts of the platform that you can get into, so you can get all this stuff set up and running.
But in the end, it's pretty freaking easy. So, but you always have that backup, which is very important. Is there anything else we're missing here? I think we got everything. Oh, the route planner. Let's just jump on. I have a 11:30.
Okay, yeah. So the route planner basically, we can stack some filters. So if they maybe like don't have a website and they're in a specific zip code, like that's always kind of a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And what we can do is we can start to put them here on a route. Name your route, and what we're going to do is go out and figure out the absolute best possible path to take you through all of these, and be able to go visit them in person. And the nice part about stacking filters like this is that when I do go visit them, I already know that they need a website. And so I already know that everybody I'm going to visit that day, in that zip code or whatever, is going to have the need for the thing that, I'm trying to offer them.
Now, I have a question for you. Is there a way to like build postcards, send them to yourself, and then use it as a walk-in?
No, not yet, but we've had that question. So I think if there's enough demand, we could absolutely build that.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of just changing and just having it being sent to yourself.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do we have time to do like anything else, like the AI voice demo, things like that?
Oh yeah. Let's do that. Let me just go ahead and start doing that.
Okay, perfect. So before we wrap up, I want to talk about one sort of final thing that's like a little bit more up and coming in terms of services that you can offer. And also it's just a way to like make sure you're using the whole list. All right. So we've talked about the website piece, if they have one, if they don't have one, the ratings and reviews. But the flip side of the ratings and reviews is if they have at least a 4.0 rating, or they have a lot of, reviews of like 20 or more, like something like that, then what this part of the list is doing is they are getting all the phone calls. And so if you're getting a lot of phone calls at that point, what you're doing is you're probably going to need services such as missed call text back, or now, right, the newer thing is AI voice. Yeah. And so with AI voice, this is one of those things where, seeing is probably better than trying to hear it, or trying to like listen to it and understand somebody trying to describe it, is what I'm saying. And so what we can do is same thing. You can click build an AI demo. And what's happening, again, we're researching everything about the business. We are training an AI voice bot right now to be able to answer just some common questions about the business. This is not meant to be a production piece, but it is meant to be something that you can very, kind of quickly and easily have somebody get an experience of what AI voice is like, because I think most people in the world today, haven't really experienced what's happening. And I think it's changing literally every week, right? So now imagine like we're talking to this landscaping company, we say, okay, we're missing a lot of calls or whatever. We figure out that that's the problem. And it's like, look, like what if we could just, have an AI voice, digital employee, whatever you want to call it, answer the phone for you, handle your most common questions. Some of these things are starting to book appointments, like all that stuff. And they say, well, how in the world would you do that? Or, hey, I don't believe it. Or, yeah, I've talked to a phone tree before. I hate those things. It's like, okay, great. I hear you. You haven't tried this yet. So do you mind? Like, can we set this up? Great. And I'll, what I'll do is I'll show you here real quick. But what we did is we figured out some questions that we can answer. And we put these questions here so that you can drive a really flawless demo, right? Of, hey, we know what we're going to ask it because we know that it can answer this. And all we're trying to do is create an experience with this business owner who is either on a Zoom call with you, standing in front of you, or maybe they're running through this on their own, where they can have this conversation. And what I want them to do at the end of this piece is to look at you and just say, tell me more, right? That's when the sales process actually starts. And so I'll run through like 2 questions here real quick so you can kind of see it. And then we'll kind of wrap up from there. So they click connect. It's going to want to use their microphone. This works on a mobile device. So if you're out in the field or whatever and you fill in this form, you can literally stand there with the person and do this. Yeah, we're trying to design an outdoor space. I'm wondering if you guys do that.
Oh, funny. I can't hear her.
No, I can't hear it. Okay. Well, I tell you what, hop in, try it out.
Yeah.
But no, it's got a really nicely trained, fantastic voice, really high quality AI voice. And yeah, you can start asking some questions. It'll start giving you some of these answers. And the idea there is just to provide like a really great experience for
and just so everybody knows, you're using this as a demo to sell them AI from GoHighLevel, correct?
Yes, it can be high level, and sometimes it's high level. Sometimes people are using different bots, but
Yeah.
whatever it is you're using is totally fine. The point of this is just to get to that point so that you can sell that other thing.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all the, I know some of my students are using AI voice as the upfront pitch, like saying like, hey, I already built you an AI agent, that can handle missed calls, that can handle, stupid questions that you don't have to waste your time. Would you like me to demo it? Take 5 minutes. And then they go into GoHighLevel, they drop the URL of that person in there, then they get them on Zoom, and they just let them run with it, blow their mind, and then add it as a package to everything else that they're doing. So, it's just being different in the end. It's just about being different and doing things that, ultimately, a business owner has never heard before. They want to jump on a shiny object train like everybody else does. And so, yeah, just good ways to get your foot in the door. There's a ton of ways to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one I'll talk about here is, which is like, so taking that same exact concept, and it works incredibly well. Put it on a form on a landing page as like a lead magnet. And when they fill this form in, you grab consent to send them text messages, all those things. When they click that button, it'll do the exact same thing I just did when I clicked the button in the platform. It'll build that page, and then it'll drop them here on this page as well.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they get to that again? Go over the.
Yeah, this is basically, it's just a form. We give you the code on there, and so when they
how did you get to the form?
That's just a page on mine. So I went into sites, and then this is just a demo page I created. So getting to that form doesn't really matter. You can put it on any URL that you have. So this would live on your website somewhere. And when you're doing this, you're building a page in your CRM system, and then you're just adding the form to it. And I've seen people build some really cool pages around all this. They'll put like video sales letters, things like that. And then it says, look, now experience it yourself, right? Put your name in your business website. And then, but the coolest part about all this, in my opinion, is that you do grab, whatever consent it is that you're trying to have.
But is this in an automation? I don't know how you're getting to this. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand you're building the form, you're putting it on a site. I get it. But what's getting you over into the AI voice?
Yeah, it's a two-step automation. So this is it's built inside of Map Leads.
Got it.
Literally that's the whole thing.
Got it. But it comes with Map Leads, like, automatically.
Oh yeah. It's in one of the plans of Map Leads that will come with it. That's the API webhook.
Got it. Okay, so they don't even have to do anything. They just need to get the form on a web page, so then they can send it out to people. They can put in their thing and experience it. Got it. Okay.
Yep, that's it exactly. There's you fill in the form, triggers a webhook, sends it over to me, and what the form does is it will redirect to this page here. And there's a little bit of a delay. It's about 5 seconds. You'll see a little wheel spinning that says, we're building your digital employee. And then as soon as it's done, you'll see this pop up, and it looks exactly like this. And again, this works on mobile devices or regular desktop, but you can do it standing in front of somebody, or you could send it to them or whatever. You can create a lead magnet off of it. Like, there's a lot of really cool ways that you can drive this. And it's probably one of the hottest, coolest services out there right now to be selling. So
yeah, I agree. And it's a great way to package, upsell, add it to a middle package, so it forces people to have to go with the more expensive one. There's a lot of little trickery things that you can do, not trickery, but sales ways to sell more and get more money per client. Because ultimately, in the end, the person who could pay the most for a client is the ones that's always going to win in business. So
yeah,
it's very difficult to build an agency around $97 a month payments. It's a lot of businesses you need. So
yeah.
Keep trying to tell people is you got to get to like 1,000, 1,500. Otherwise, you're going to be you'll be out of business before you start.
Right. Exactly. And this will get you there.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the prospecting. It gives you everything that you need. I love it. I've been waiting. I think I ran into you in October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We got 5.3 months later. We're good to go. It's working seamlessly. And so, first of all, thank you for jumping on. And then for everybody that's watching, I'm going to get into pricing and how to get this right now. So here's the deal that I was able to work out with Tom. Okay, this is for my YouTube subscribers or anybody who ended up watching this video. Okay, first of all, I want to say that if you like videos like this, make sure you give me a thumbs up and you subscribe to this channel. More videos coming. and soon to be having a backlog of videos. So hopefully I don't skip any more weeks. Matter of fact, there's a story of why I've skipped a few of these weeks, but I'll save that for a more of like a business video so you guys understand that. Anyway, AI-powered prospecting. Tom walked you through it. This is only going to get better, okay? And I have a feeling that as it gets better, it's going to get more expensive. But here, you guys get it, right? Find local business owners with GDP search and then click right inside your CRM. It's integrated into GoHighLevel. No need to have two different tabs open. Everything is in GoHighLevel, which you noticed. All right, so you don't need CSV files. You don't need all that stuff, okay? So dynamic search, lead targeting, contact data that you get from them. And then you can search for businesses near you. You have an AI route planner, so then you're not like going one way when you should have went the other way. You could set up like 10 businesses that you want to visit, postcard in hand or whatever you're using to prospect, and then take the best route. One-click website builders, postcards in a click, AI sales trainer. Unfortunately, you guys, for some reason, when he was running the AI demo, I couldn't hear it. It was only playing on his thing. He probably had headphones in. So it works just as good, if not just as good as GoHighLevels, okay? That is only used to prospect, okay? He also has a power dialer, so you can import them and then dial them out. You could sell AI voice. He talks about that. He actually has a training video how to do it. And here's the prices, $97 a month. You get 1,000 business searches per month. They don't carry over, okay? They don't carry over. But I'll get to that in a second. Find business emails for free, creating 2,000 to 10,000 total contacts per month because some businesses have 3 or 4. Okay, so it basically what it's saying is that it will allow you to have 2,000 to 10,000 total emails and contacts with 1,000 businesses. Okay, you can import them directly. AI planner, AI sales trainer, power dialer, send customers postcards. That's pay as you go because there's you have to pay for postage. Build AI websites and the 149, the 147 is 2,000 business searches, more emails, and then you get the build AI voice demo pages from business profiles, and then the 197 you just get another 1,000, 6 to 30,000, and then you get the build AI voice demo pages from web form API. Okay, so that's what the difference is. The deal that you have here that ends, when does it end? 3 days and 10 hours is what's below it right here. So you get 500 bulk search credits to start with. Those will carry over. 25 free postcards and 25 AI website builder credits to start with. So those, if you don't use them in your first month or two, they'll carry over. But this stuff doesn't carry over, okay? It's just a flat fee of that. You get all this, you use it, lose it, okay? And then you get 1,000 and 1,500. All right. This is my subscribers offer, okay? Now, you get a better deal if you are an affiliate of mine with GoHighLevel or a coaching student. And the only way to find where that best deal is in my school community. The only way to get into my school community is either being a coaching student or an affiliate of mine. And so that link will be in there. If you're neither of those, then you get this deal for the next 4 days, and it's just this part goes away, and you could always purchase it, the 97 and get all this, okay? Or become an affiliate or a coaching student, and you'll get more than this in credits, okay? So you simply just click it, sign up. Oops. All right. Well, before this video goes live, I'll make sure this button is fixed. It should be a pop-up to order it. And then you could go through the frequently asked questions. And yeah, the sign up is not working, but it will once you see this video. All right. So click that, sign up. You got 3 days and 10 hours, depending on when you see this. All right, guys, appreciate it. The link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. I love this. I'm going to start using it. And I already have students using it, pulling thousands of leads so they can go out and prospect, whether they're doing it personally or they're doing it with their VA or somebody they've hired. Either way, this is how you get action. You get action with the value. It makes selling easy. And this is what gets people unstuck. Gives things for people to do instead of sitting around thinking like, what the hell should I do? See you guys later.